Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome
God and
Boy, I did a multicam edit at school with Premiere. Because you just click, how do you want to sync your cameras? You just hit the audio button, and I've got 5 cameras where they just find where all the similarities in the audio are, and they just automatically sync them together.
Yeah, it's nice, right?
Oh, none of this clapping and camera flashes that I do. And yeah, sometimes they're like, hey, can you go and shoot this thing? And I'm like, all right, class, just bring the whole class and we'll shoot all the cameras we've got and shoot something together. But I love the Premiere for that, Adobe Premiere.
As usual.
Well, you know what? When we just did an episode 120 something, and we didn't even say a welcome to the show or anything. We just started blabbing and just blabbed for an hour. So maybe this time we should say, welcome to Gods and Monsters. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Art, and over there on the far side is Greg, and in the center here,
What?
it's Todd Fisher, ladies
Hey.
and gentlemen, owner of Gods and Monsters.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, how
It's
are
me.
you? It's good to see you. Well, let's start off by saying, what are we drinking this evening? Why don't you tell us?
Mine is pretty simple. I just went with the Sprecher's Puma Cola with a K.
Oh,
Cola.
Puma Cola.
Cola.
Is that just a cola drink?
It is Sprecher's. What do you call it? Brews and honey. So you may taste a slightly honey forward root beer. The Puma Cola is particularly pronounced with the honey flavor.
Oh,
So if you like honey,
Like mead.
Sprecher's.
Oops.
now you've
It's
bumped the
honey.
table. It's honey.
Sorry.
Always on duty, always on the job, never drinking the alcohol. And it
That's
looks
right.
like you've gone and gotten a root beer yourself, making
I
me
did.
feel like a lush.
I didn't feel like having a second beer.
Yeah.
So I'm having the Sprecher root beer.
Yes, he's having a root beer.
I see. And again, this was a recommendation from Anna. I've had the Cider Boys apple many times, but this is the apple peach hard cider. Excellent combination.
They gave me a sip of that the other night. It was quite tasty.
very,
You-
very well done.
You threatened that you would have another one of those, and
Not-
you are having another.
Not too much peach, just the right amount of peach.
I tend to lean towards the what would you call them, the wine cooler style.
Yes.
Of drinking.
the one you got me on
Ooh,
was
fancy.
what's the orange one you got me on when you guys first opened 2
I
years
have
ago?
no idea.
The orange drink, Orange Dream.
Orange
Oh,
Dream.
yeah.
It's in
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
cabinet
That's
over
a
there.
Sprecher's as well.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, it
You
was
got me
tasty.
on that. That's great. That's good. So but that's not what we're here to talk about.
Can't-
Well, we
can't
sort of
go-
are here to talk about the drinks that you can buy here.
Sure. In our bar. That
In
we
the bar.
In a bar that we have.
So last episode, Art and I basically took it upon ourselves to play catch up.
We're catching up with each other.
Last episode, I think, was when we closed down the last thing, wasn't it?
Previously
Is it
on Gods and Monsters. No.
Well,
Previously-
to the audience, the last one they saw, which
Yes,
is the one
this
we
1
just
hour
did
one
an
we
hour
just
ago.
did.
Okay.
But now we're here to talk about
Right.
Gods and Monsters.
We are from the future.
Yeah, it's time to catch up with Todd. There's a
Hi.
lot that's been going on.
Hello.
Since then, the store looks great. The outside the store and the lobby here, it looks
you know
excellent.
what?
There's a lot going on.
I think the last time we spoke, that I was on the show, was for The Last Jedi.
Star Wars, correct.
Yes,
we
that's
just
right.
did,
I believe it was for Last
We
Jedi.
just did look that up on the YouTube page, which
Okay.
you can check us out.
How is
on
that
Gods and-
going, by the way? Did we? What did
The
we?
Last
Star
Jedi,
Wars? Not
it
bad.
made
It
it made
actually
a lot
did-
of money.
oh, you
No,
mean-
no.
oh.
The placement for Black Panther. It didn't.
Okay,
It,
Okay.
it just
Greg
we
did
looked
find
this
out.
up. It just surpassed Titanic,
okay.
and that's in today dollars.
U.S.
Okay.
only.
Yeah.
To do dollars. To do dollars.
If you made Titanic in today money, it would
Right.
be ridiculous.
Yes,
so,
astronomical.
But in total money, it just passed that. So the only 2 movies ahead of it right now is
Right.
Avatar and then the
Force Awakens?
That's Star.
So-
I don't know what Star Trek movie or whatever.
So Force
Oh,
Awakens
stop
is
it.
in fact number 1.
yes, it's 931
Nice.
million domestic.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent.
Bazillions dollars.
So I don't know where A Force Awakens is in global. I know that Avatar is first in global, and I believe that Titanic is still number
Second
2
global.
Neat.
global.
We'll have
Good.
to.
But,
we'll
yeah.
have to-
But
we'll have
Black
to look that
Panther,
up.
kind of coming out of
Oh
nowhere.
my! Yes,
just,
the
well,
numbers.
Well, not
the numbers.
really out of nowhere. I
No,
mean,
even these numbers shock Disney.
it's in the Marvel Disney juggernaut.
I think that is just they greatly underestimated that demographic, man.
Yeah.
That demographic has been so sorely
What-
misrepresented.
What demographic?
What's the correct terminology?
Because
Panther
Art's
American.
given- yes, sure.
Panther Americans.
Yes, Wakandan Americans.
well, I'm just gonna say that it's clearly not a movie just for Black people, African American people. I mean,
or even comic book.
God,
people.
look at how much we're like tripping over
Yeah.
ourselves trying to find the right.
there aren't enough Black people in America
Correct.
to have that kind of money.
Yeah.
I didn't mean that they don't have money.
Well,
what I'm saying is,
Greg, you're digging a hole. sir.
yeah, I'm dead.
It's a great hole.
So when I type in "what's this episode about" at the bottom of the
Yeah.
YouTube
Right.
page, I don't.
It's just gonna
I
be-
can't say.
Racism.
right, racism in America.
I
today.
apologize for my stumbling of words. What I'm
By
saying
wo-
is,
yes.
if only black people saw this movie, then it wouldn't have made as much money as it did. I mean, this is a movie for everybody, not
Agreed.
Not
No,
for-
I agree with that. I mean, they've got a built-in audience already,
Sure.
just with comic fans and the fans that the MCU itself has just built up.
Yeah.
absolutely.
You've got the people that were introduced to this character by way of Civil War,
Right.
just a few years back.
Years ago, yeah.
And I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at, but I mean, there's a reason that it's making as much money as it is, and I really feel that it's paramount to that.
Are you
demographic.
seeing popularity in the Black Panther comics in
Of
the
course,
store here?
Of course.
Old
of course.
issues, new issues.
Yes, especially when the movie was starting its theatrical run, we had a big display out and the
Good.
whole thing, and I sold an unusual amount. It's cool because outside of that appearance in Civil War, Black Panther is kind of a niche character.
Mm-hmm.
He's not
I didn't know anything about him.
exactly that. Well, you're a perfect example. Like not a whole lot of people are as familiar with that character as say your Captain Americas or your Iron
Right.
Mans. But I love seeing T'Challa actually represented well. He got an animated series on BET not too long ago, a couple years back, that was actually really well put together.
Which would be more popular today, probably, if it came
Oh
out.
yeah, it's streaming right now. We watched it again, and it's a lot of fun. And I mean, the X-Men show up in it. Spoilers, but
Any celebrity voices?
everybody's in it. Like Jamin Hanchu is.
Give us free.
Give
us free.
Give
I
us
love
free.
that from La Amistad.
But he's he who was actually for the longest time my choice for a live action T'Challa.
For Black Panther.
was
Sure.
was the voice of T'Challa. So no, it's good. Stan Lee, of course, makes his.
Of course,
yeah,
yes.
Of course.
The bruised and battered Stan Lee.
He's not doing well lately. I hear.
It's
Yeah.
funny. It's weird. You hear all these things about Stan, and you see him, and he is, after all,
95.
He's nearly a century
Right, yeah.
old. And he's lived a pretty busy, like a pretty active life.
Oh,
through,
yes.
through his business dealings with Marvel and just his life in the limelight. He's lived a very full life, and people are wondering why he's
Still here?
why he's still here.
why he's still working as hard as he does.
Exactly. And
because that's what he
Well,
is.
I think once the first Spider-Man movie came out, it was probably like a shot in the arm to him. It was like he's
Sure.
got a whole new. He's
Oh,
got
are
a
you kidding?
whole second life.
and
now.
he's in all the movies.
Yeah.
And so I mean he's Stan created a lot of the characters that
Yeah.
we love. There
Which-
would be no Spider-Man or Hulk or any of these guys that are
Which-
the multi-billion-dollar franchises
which
that they
financially he didn't get his due until
Oh, yeah.
much later in
Oh
life.
yeah. I think in the end, Stan will just be happy to have been recognized
Yes.
for that,
Which he
rather than-
clearly will be now. Which I think the second. When you say somebody jumps the shark, and then that's like the end of the career.
Sure.
The opposite of jumping the shark,
Stripperella. Oh.
the opposite of jumping the shark for him, I think, was showing
nuking the
up
fridge.
in Mallrats. Do you remember
Oh,
him showing up in
sure.
Mallrats? And it was Jason Lee like, "You're Stan fucking Lee,"
Yeah.
and it was like, it was a whole thing. It's like he's back in the limelight, and it only went up from there
Yeah,
for him. They just need to get him on a green screen and shoot like 10 different things that can be in the next 10 movies, because there's going
What
to come
is
a
it?
time.
Is the thing stork made of orange rock like the rest of his body?
It's
a superhero secret.
I think
Well, so
I think he's filmed all the movies and he's done now. I
Yeah.
think.
He's not going to be in another one.
I don't think so. I'm actually hearing some very, very poor things about his health. And,
yeah,
and-
the
yes.
last couple of weeks there
Yeah.
have been allegations of elder abuse and like his
Oh.
his daughter, who is 65 by the way,
geez.
herself. I don't know. There's a whole mishmash of issues with lawyers that have come and gone. People that are essentially
from my
raping the body before it's dead.
dead.
from
Maybe
my
not.
personal experience, he's treated like he's treated like a servant almost. I noticed this the two times that I was around him.
Sure.
Whoever his handler was or his lawyer, I don't know who it was specifically, but it was basically, here, Stan, here's what you need to do, and he put some things in front of him, and there was like a schedule and things like that. It's like Stan wasn't really doing it. It was
Yeah.
somebody basically puppeting it, like burning
Sure.
him.
Do this,
to do
sign
that, yeah.
this, wave here.
Well, there was
Yeah.
there was a video that hit this week, I guess, from one of his most recent appearances, where the guy, the handler, I
Yeah.
guess, was basically saying Stanley, STAN, like spelling his own name to him. And
Well, I mean, he's 95, and anybody who makes it that long and can function is amazing.
Sure.
So, like, of course, it's going to be harder and harder and harder for him to
Yeah.
to do the things that he was doing even just
Sure.
4 years ago.
That's gonna be that's gonna be a tough day.
It's going to be a tough day. Now, here's the thing, though. We hear all of these allegations and all of these stories, and you know how the internet is. It's some of it's blown out of proportion. Some of it might not
Right.
be.
2 years ago, it was he's not going to New York Comic Con. This is his last one. He's
Right.
done. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, he's okay.
But then you get, like 2 days ago, he releases a video. He himself personally releases a video. And it was probably that handler actually filming it.
Yeah.
But saying, he's like, I've, oh, wow, look at this. Hey, everybody, popcorn.
Thank you.
It was Stan saying, I've heard all these allegations and it's just untrue. None of it's true. And basically exonerating his 65-year-old daughter from any wrongdoing. And
Good.
So it's how much of that is true is only speculation at this point. But I mean, like, it's so serious, like, and we love Stan so much as a culture, as a pop culture, that even like Kevin Smith came out publicly and said he can come live with me.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
he just come live with
The
me. Stan.
love is there.
So I mean, whatever's happened, like, he'll never hear this, but we love you, Stan,
Absolutely.
and we're hoping the absolute best for you. We
Right.
we want to keep you around for at least a little while longer, but
Always one day more
yeah.
than we hope. Yeah.
Come on,
But
Stan.
We got this much. I mean, that's great.
yeah. Oh yeah, sure.
oh yeah, to think just what he's done and what he did in his younger years, the creation process and the ideas and the drawing. But the last 15, 20 years that we've gotten from him,
Yeah.
just the fun, the joy of seeing somebody in his older years enjoying all of the things that he did
Yeah.
at a younger age. He's getting to enjoy all his hard work, which
Sure.
I don't know if he was appreciated for. There was a time, when he wasn't getting his due financially for the work that he created. But then that all changed.
Well, it seems like there's always some jackal out there that's trying to take his money, or he had some like
Or it's somebody.
$1.2 million that just came up missing, and it's just like,
Yeah.
that's got to be tough on an old man,
I think anytime you're making that amount of money, or that you have that amount of notoriety or fame, there's always going to be vultures who are going to pick at the dead pieces.
The
and stuff
vulture?
Like
The vulture was involved?
that.
The jackal?
No,
I heard
no,
the jackal was
jackal.
involved as well.
That was a.
I do dread the day when I go to Facebook and Todd says, "See you around, Stan," because you know
Man.
it's coming. You did one this week. The guy from Buck Rogers had
Right.
no idea he was still alive. When I
Yeah.
saw Buck
Me
Rogers as a
too,
kid, I
actually.
figured that guy was 80 years old.
Yeah.
Nope, he was probably close to my age. I'd say he was 50, and now he died at 90.
It was. I think he was 95 as well.
Okay,
He
so
was-
Buck Rogers was 40 years ago. So to think
Yeah.
he was in his early to mid 50s back then, but he looked old to me
he
back
still
then.
looked old.
And
Wait.
the fact that he was still alive.
what was the time period of Buck Rogers?
78, 79.
No.
Oh,
Was it the 25th century?
25th
Yes.
century.
Yeah, Buck Rogers and the Adventures of the 25th Century or something like
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or the Adventures of Buck Rogers. God, I can't remember now.
Buck,
It was
uh,
just Buck Rogers.
Buck Rogers in
the 25th century.
yeah.
Okay. All right. That was another thing about.
Bum, 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 bum,
That was another thing
bum,
about
bum.
Ready Player One that I wasn't happy about is that society's not going to get there in 40 years or 30 years or what
The
was
year
it?
is 1984.
2045.
Dun, 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 the space shuttle.
That's
Oh, that's really happening. There's a
Right?
space shuttle in the future.
And
What?
then the,
Oh.
then the little guy,
But-
the little Buck Rogers, kind of falling back through the tunnel. It's so good, man.
Oh, was there a
One of the better openings for a show.
Was
It
there,
was
Oh, yeah.
was there a space shuttle in Buck Rogers?
Yeah, it was
Oh,
considered the last space shuttle
Yeah.
launch in 1984.
Yeah.
So they were talking about space shuttle
The
launches,
last of America's deep space probes.
and there hadn't
Oh.
even been a space shuttle launch yet.
was Ranger 3.
So wait a
Ranger
second.
3
Was he shoved into the future? Is that the story of Buck Rogers?
He is.
What's wrong with
let's
you?
see, right-
It was right before
He
I
was
started-
frozen. He was frozen
Right.
for
Okay.
400.
So this was right before I started watching sci-fi type stuff. This is
Okay.
when reruns of Star Trek was on. I was just like, even at 9 years old, I was like, this is bullshit.
Oh,
Now,
this
see,
is garbage.
While all I'm happy about is that Disco survives into the 25th century.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. All right.
So many of those episodes revolved around disco.
So he was from the 80s, which was in turn like 10, 15 years ahead.
Right.
And shoved into the 25th
Yeah,
century.
he
Correct.
launches off into the space shuttle. The space shuttle malfunctions in some way. He's frozen.
That's right.
And he left a window open or something. I forget what it was.
I believe he comes. It's like a spatial anomaly or something.
Yeah.
And
And then his space shuttle is found. I guess you can just go to YouTube and watch
Ranger
the pilot
3 and its
episode.
pilot.
I might do that.
Ranger 3 and its pilot, Captain William Buck Rogers.
So I guess that
thrown
was
out of
the-
their trajectory.
So you're saying
You
in
remember it very well.
In 1984, when that started, that was before the first shuttle launched?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
So they were. We knew what the shuttle looked like
Yeah.
back then, but they hadn't even had the first launch yet, which didn't happen until '81. So back in the late '70s, there's a show about 1984.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool that they
Yeah.
did that. But they also claimed that the last space shuttle launch was 1984. They were a little off on that.
Well, you know.
Just a little. But you know what? Don't fault them for that. Why were we talking about Buck
so
Rogers?
was that because that's what we do on the show? So that was Buck Rogers 1970. What did you say?
Did you say
8 or
78?
9.
78.
yeah,
So
78.
I had always thought that Heavy Metal, the animated movie Heavy Metal, was the first time that anybody saw the space shuttle, because in the opening of that movie there was a space shuttle and
With the
the
car.
Corvette dropped out of it.
I guess the early designs.
think-
That was
I don't know.
1980, wasn't it?
Was it?
I think so. It wasn't 70s. I
Well,
think it
in
was
that case,
1980.
then Buck Rogers beat it.
It did.
Well,
More research
Well?
will need to be done. All right, how are your headphones? You good?
all right.
Yeah, good. Well, it's good to see you back here. Now, I haven't seen you or talked to you in a while. Just a little Facebook once in a while, something pops up. But I saw that
Not near enough.
not near enough.
near
This
enough.
is true. I saw that about 2 weeks ago. It looks like you guys did a sit down or a phone interview. Who knows how these things work? With the Orlando Sentinel. Like
yeah.
Maybe they had spoken to Anna about reflecting back on the year at the other place
Right.
and how things are going. And then, Anna was very honest in the article
She
about
was.
that things are it's not the way it was back then when it comes to what you see month by month here at the store. But there's always you're always looking up. You're always looking to the future. You're
Of
always
course.
looking to this event and that event's coming up. But
Right.
did you do any of the interview for the article, or was that all her?
That was all Anna, actually. Yeah, I was listening in from the restroom
What?
as she was doing that phone interview. So,
Oh,
so yeah.
okay.
But the article, I'm sure, I just remember reading her parts to it. But not all stores that left that other place,
Right.
succeeded or continued on
That's true.
after the closing of that, which only just recently got sold. Which makes me think you guys could have been there this whole
It's,
time.
it's true. I would wager most of the most
Artagon
of the,
just was sold.
just recently, about a month and
Which
a
is
half
why
ago.
was that why the interview with her, or was it just a
Probably
reflection? Yeah,
It was probably a
The land
way,
was
way
just
of
sold.
tying that in. My understanding is that a group out of the Miami area
Yes.
has I'm not sure of the name of the group, but
Cubans.
something group. I think
Just now.
has bought it, like in the last month or so, has bought the property and has started internal renovations.
which makes
All
me
right.
think all this time you still could have been there. Everyone still could have been there.
Oh, I know.
Ridiculous. And then I
it's
hear,
silly.
that Crossroads Plaza has just been sold.
Yeah.
And they gave those people 18 months notice.
Yeah.
18 months
18
notice you
Something,
have.
something wasn't right.
18 whole months.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which kind of surprised me at the time that there was a point when Disney owned that land at Crossroads and then kind of sold it. I didn't
actually-
know that.
I had heard about the Crossroads development.
Crossroads. That's a huge
Uno's
huge
Pizza
area.
and the
Hooters
McDonald's,
and all
and
that.
there's still a Goodings shopping
Yeah, man.
grocery store
Goodings.
out there. Yeah, Goodings.
All that stuff is out there for now. Anyway.
But so now that's all going to get kind of
well, when we were
Domain.
shopping,
You were shopping with the, yeah.
locations for this. We were looking over at the one that's not the crossings, but the one right
next to it. Player One. What was the name
with
of the location?
I think it's.
I want to say Ready Player One, but that's the
It's-
movie.
I think it's Player One.
Player One. Okay.
But we were looking at the space next to them, and they're in the mall directly behind it. So they were using that as part of the pitch. Like Crossroads is probably not going to be here in
Right.
a year. They've been talking about.
so are they affected in any way? Do we know?
They are affected only in that they will be the first turn off of I-4 now.
Oh.
They're the mall that we would have been in would have been the first turn
Gotcha,
off of, for
gotcha.
most people. But yeah, it's weird that I-4 thing is affecting a lot of.
But the fact that they gave them 18
Oh,
months
yeah.
notice and you guys had 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
But no bitterness there.
Oh, yeah.
Not at all.
You
You've even said in the past that other stores or former stores are in some sort of group lawsuit type thing, but you were kind of just like clean
I
break.
have no-
Clean break, moving on.
Yeah.
Which is a great attitude to have.
We were just happy to be free of the place.
Right, that's right. But then, like I said before, Anna very honest in the interview, talking about, it's not what it was over there. People don't always know that we're here. We need to let people know that you're in this plaza here, that you still exist. She said in the article that there are times when she sees people and they say to her, "Oh, I didn't realize you were still," and hurt. That's got to hurt.
This is what, almost 2 years later?
Oh yeah. Well,
Has it
it's
been?
a year in this location.
Okay.
Just a little bit over a year.
Has it only been a year?
But yeah, I get it every week. Every single week, I get people in here like, "Oh, you guys finally reopened." I'm like,
No,
"I'll kill you."
No, I know.
I'll kill you.
Right. Stop with the hurting.
We've been here every day.
Every single day.
Since back then. But
know.
so the article was out there talking about what it was like, reflecting back on that time there, and then what it's like here now. And it's like, I don't want to say the word struggle because it looks great here, and I see just the stream of people coming in all the time. But then there's always just
I like the word challenge.
Challenge.
Every
Yes.
day is a new challenge.
There's the challenge, but then again, like I said to Anna earlier off the air, you still get the tour buses that come here twice a day.
Sure.
You get the tour buses
we
twice
still
a
get
day.
Tour buses, and that's sometimes that translates to sales. Sometimes not. It depends on the season. Depends on the people. We get a lot of business in from Brazil. A lot in from the UK
on those buses.
Sure, on those buses.
Good.
But I mean, it's not all bad. We're still finding our legs here. It's great because the high interest loan that we took out to be able to remain afloat and move here. We've got about 3 weeks left on that.
Oh, okay. You
wow.
more than
Great.
just chipped away
Okay.
at that. Then that's good to hear.
For the longest time, we were going kind of from loan to loan to loan. Like we'd get a loan, we'd get halfway through it, and then we get another loan to pay off that.
Okay.
And then so
it's basically refinancing through different companies.
Exactly. And
Okay.
and this is the first time the one that we took out for this, which was a sizable one, it was probably 67.
Wait, now you don't have to do the numbers.
It's a lot.
Numbers.
Anyway,
Words,
numbers.
Numbers.
It seems that we did not in fact seek out a second like one.
Well, that's good to hear.
So we will be moving more towards profit here shortly. I
Okay,
think,
and then
which is
before
great.
before you know it, it'll be Black Friday time, and you'll be turning
That's
profits,
right.
and
That's right.
and that's good.
Well, speaking of, Free Comic Book Day is coming up.
Hey, look at that.
shortly.
Right
Look at
around the corner. May is going to be a
Actual
great
t-shirt
month.
made.
Yeah.
We've got May first Saturday in May.
Yep.
That's coming up, and
Yep.
then if you're familiar with the plaza here at all, you've got your new neighbors coming in for Cinco de Mayo.
We do, yeah.
For their opening,
Those
and
guys,
then
I think it's Pepe's Cantina.
yeah, and
I think.
that's good to hear.
Dude, tacos. Am I right?
That's
Taco
right.
Tuesday.
Because last time Greg and I were here to do a show, which was before December,
Yeah.
there was something else there, and then there wasn't, and now suddenly there's something there again. So that's good news.
It's funny for a while there. They even got their sign up out front and everything. It was going to be a kosher deli, like a
I remember that.
unconventional kosher stuff.
I remember that.
yeah.
And they
then
like
suddenly.
they got in there, like there were people praying in there like 3 or 4 times a week, like in a circle, and but they got a very professional looking sign put up out there, and then like 2 weeks later they took it down and put up Pepe's.
no.
Grand opening,
So-
grand closing.
Exactly, man. They didn't even.
It's
they
like
didn't-
Bob's
boy.
Burgers.
They didn't even make it. Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
that's
right.
good. But then you've got your neighbors next door here who came with you from the other mall.
Sure. The
record store.
The record store.
record store, R&R,
and
sure.
they are still there.
They're still there.
So you're seeing you're happy with your situation here at this
It's-
location.
I tell people it's never as busy as I'd like it to be.
Of course.
But it's comfortable. We're not.
What you could tell people is that if you come here to Gods and Monsters and you are hungry for a cheeseburger or something like that,
Yep.
you can walk right out that door and there's a Sonic.
Oh yeah,
Oh, that's
it's
true.
totally solid.
True.
It's like
story.
15 feet to walk.
We can
Right.
get a pickle slushy.
There you go.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can you can come back here to the Vault 5421
Absolutely.
and have a craft beer or
Yeah.
a fancy mixed drink.
That's right.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of events that you post up online having to do with the bar as well, and it's been going very well for you. You're happy with
Yeah, but I think with Pepe's getting ready to open up, if they're not open tomorrow or the next day, it's very
Anna
shortly.
said Monday.
May
Monday?
isn't it May? I thought it was for Cinco de Mayo, May 5th.
Well, that's Free Comic Book Day.
They probably have a soft
Okay.
opening Monday
Oh,
and then
okay,
a grand
gotcha,
opening
gotcha.
for
They,
Cinco
will,
de
they
Mayo.
will certainly be open by then.
Well, good.
So-
Good luck to them because success for them is success for you.
Oh,
so
man.
that's
I'm
very
just
good.
so hungry. I just want a taco.
It does smell good out there. Yes.
I think they're known for their. It's like a gallon margarita or something. It's like
Oh.
some absurd amount of
Oh.
margarita in a big old.
It's in a
bowl.
car wash bucket.
It's you know what I mean. It's this, and I think this is their third location. So I mean,
Yeah, they're franchising out. That's good. That's good.
It's looking like that they will probably bring a little bit of traffic in, which
That's
is great.
good.
And just nice guys too.
And speaking of franchising, you discussed that in the past. Is that
We
something
did.
you're still kind of thinking about, or you're just going to focus on this store
We're
for now?
focusing on this right now. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We still get asked a lot about it.
Good.
Like if we want
I'm
to.
telling you, mall real estate is cheap right now.
Yeah.
Oh
Is
boy,
it?
yeah. As
Don't-
as
don't
we
go to the mall.
lose Macy's and Toys R Us is out now.
Toys R Us,
Are you
Yeah,
talking about
that hurt.
the one over by you?
We went there the other day. Things are still at the 15-20% off.
Sad though.
It is. The shelves are still pretty stocked. It hasn't gotten to that where it's half empty and the shelf is knocked over kind of sadness.
Oh, the YouTube show that I watched, the Dead Mall series.
Fascinating.
He actually finally did he did the West Oaks Mall. So he generally is in the East Coast, but he'll like go different places every once in a while. He came down and did the West Oaks
Now,
Mall
you-
because
had-
that place is dead.
Had you been to the West Oaks Mall as a child, as a younger?
Oh yeah, I used to go there all the time.
Is that
Not
the one
as
with
a
the tree in it?
not as a child, but they have all kinds of live.
That's the Twin
live stuff
Pines
there.
Mall from Back to the Future.
Oh yeah,
No,
no. I used to go there all the time, like the last 15 years, and it was it was a bustling mall,
Yeah.
and it was slowly dying, and now it's almost completely
Yeah,
dead.
a little addendum to the Toys R Us talk. I forget his name now, but the gentleman who created the Bratz dolls started up a crowdfunding thing to raise money to buy a portion of the Toys R Us stores, like
Oh.
200 plus
Really?
stores, and most of the ones in Canada. And he made his bid today. It was like $675 million.
Whoa.
For 200, I think 200 of the U.S. The remaining U.S. stores, and I think 80 of the Canada ones.
I don't know,
I don't know.
man.
It's time
I
to
don't know
just-
if that's gone through
It's
or
time
not.
to
but-
rip the Band-Aid off on that.
I'm thinking that's
But
done.
that's interesting.
Wow.
Because look, I think going forward, you're going to have stores like you have here, which are highly specialized. You get you provide a service beyond the merchandise.
Sure.
So you have people that are coming in for consignment and stuff like that, and
Right,
You're working with the artistic community as well.
Right.
That's something you can't get on eBay. It's something you can't get on Amazon.
Sure.
Toys R Us, it's a toy store that sells toys that you can get cheaper online.
Right.
Yeah, there was a little
and
pricey
delivered
there.
to your door in 2 days and never have to do
Right.
anything.
But once again, it's just another part of our childhood getting chipped away.
It's
Was
true.
it you
I
that
know,
put the
that
picture
sucks.
up with the tear on the Jeffrey the giraffe
Probably
on Facebook?
not. No,
Oh, okay.
probably not.
Somebody had
Doesn't sound like
posted
me.
that where it was like somebody had put a teardrop on Jeffrey the giraffe in one of the stores somewhere. And but it's another, like I said, another part of our childhood just kind of getting chipped away.
Hey man, I was a Toys R Us kid. I don't know about you
Absolutely.
guys, so.
I absolutely agree. We all were. We all sang the songs,
true.
and absolutely great marketing they did when they got us to learn that song.
But it's an
by
evolution.
memory.
It's an evolution of how we
It is.
how we consume things. Like
Yeah.
for a while it was cable. If you didn't have cable, who are you if you don't have cable?
Yeah.
And now there's like 16 other options on how to
Right.
get your media to consume.
Now
it.
it's who are you if you do have cable?
And when we were kids, it was, it's the idea of Toys R Us, the idea of
Oh
this
my God.
a
Oh, yeah.
gigantic like warehouse-sized store.
and it was every November
Christmas
when you would
catalog.
get the Toys R
Oh,
Us
yeah, man.
thing, and
Sure.
you'd go nuts
Yeah,
with
of
your
course.
Yeah.
marker kind of
Because
Yeah,
they
man.
would
things
the
you
Toys R
wanted.
Us and the Sears Christmas
Catalog.
catalogs would always
The
do
wish book.
They would do an awesome display
yeah.
of Star Wars displays, like they put them up. It's
Yeah,
just not
man.
like it was just the picture of the box. They
Yeah.
would set it up, and it would be in some elaborate setting,
Sure,
and it
man.
just absolutely.
Yeah, sad to see him go. But I love to watch him leave.
Don't let that door not hit you.
So the store itself here, do you have any other events other than Free Comic Book Day that you want to talk about?
Well, we're actually tonight we're doing our Friday the 13th marathon.
Of course,
we're
yes.
playing a lot of those movies. We're doing, I think Sunday we're doing Last Starfighter, and we're playing
neat.
that. That's one of my favorites.
I heard they were remaking that movie.
Well, it's funny. There's been many years that the writer, who I think is the primary rights holder to it outside of Universal, has said that he wants nothing to do with it at all. Well, it's nothing to do with
I can see that.
with a remake or a reboot. And then the other day, about a week ago, he put up pictures, some concept art
The Price is Right.
that were very kind of Force Awakens, like the bits with the X-wings skimming the water and
okay.
all that. He put up 3 or 4 conceptual pictures and says, "So I've been working on this thing, and so it looks like there may be some kind of continuation in the
I wonder
in the pipe
if there's an age that you get to where your where your integrity is overshadowed by the interest in providing for your
Sure.
extended family for their
Right.
lives.
Because your whole
Yeah.
life, you don't hear a single Led Zeppelin song in a commercial. And then suddenly, 5 years ago, it's like, yeah, just give them rock and roll. We're just going to put that in a car commercial. It's
Yeah.
like, what?
And then it
Why,
was
why
like,
suddenly all
"Huh?"
these years, it's like nothing. And then suddenly, like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not such a bad thing anymore.
I respect that writer for holding off for so long, but as you get up into your 70s or 80s or whatever, you have grandchildren and great grandchildren, whatever.
It's like, what an
and you
easy
look
buck.
and you look at them and you're just like, if I sell out
Yeah.
my integrity right now, they all get a free ride to college or whatever they want to do and stuff like that. So
It may also be born of a need for immediacy. Ernest Cline, who did the recently released Ready Player One, did a book that has also been optioned called Armada that bears stunning likeness to the framework of
I
Last
see.
Starfighter.
Ah.
So. And people, of course, as soon as Ready Player One was hitting, they were just like, "Oh, Armada's next, Armada's next," and lo and behold, Armada is going to be a film, and so maybe the guy had a fire under his ass to well, shit,
it's
they're going to like
interesting.
Armada instead of my thing.
About 20-ish years ago, I was talking to a couple of friends about is there ever going to come a day where we make films that are photorealistic and human realistic to the point where we don't need actors anymore and it can just be all computers create
Probably.
films.
We're there.
And they were like, no, you're always going to need actors. You're always going to need, I'm like, I don't know.
Are we
because at this point, we're pretty darn close to having full films that are mostly photorealistic.
So close
very
that I
close.
almost think that it would have been kind of nice to have actually Harrison Ford play Han Solo in this most recent Solo movie. Just
Yeah.
put the dots on his face and just make him young again, like they
age
did
him.
for Michael Douglas in
but age him.
Ant-Man
He's still
and Robert Downey Jr. in a
70-some.
flashback.
That's all right, though.
We want his voice and we want his mannerisms, and they did it to Michael Douglas in the Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, and it was
and they
fine.
did it to Robert Downey Jr. in the
Yeah.
most recent Iron Man, where they did a
Didn't
flashback,
that
and it's
look
like
weird.
it doesn't look as weird
Oh,
as it
really?
used to. It looked weird in Tron Legacy. It
did.
looked weird there, but it's
hold
gotten
on.
so much better since then.
But in your brain, there is still something that says
This isn't
There
right.
is no way that's actually Robert Downey Jr.
I think instinctually we are still like our most primitive selves instinctually,
Yeah.
where we are still hardwired to be in the bushes, and we recognize unnatural movement. That's always been the problem with
yeah.
the Uncanny Valley.
Yeah.
Is that we
And that's why
we
Disney and
recognize it
Pixar
when
has always steered away from photorealistic humans.
Correct.
They've always had stylistic cartoon humans.
and we got close with the Grand Moff Tarkin.
Grand Moff Tarkin was what I was going to
Grand Moff
bring
Tarkin
up.
was
Did
pretty
it bother you, or you
totally
didn't buy
it at all.
See, Tarkin was certainly better than the Leia that they threw at us at the
Oh,
end.
see,
the,
we
the,
didn't
the
need that
Leia
at all.
at the end was bad.
She could have been a reflection in the glass.
Right.
I
rather
like
than
that
anything.
idea that you had, yeah.
Yeah, the Tarkin didn't bother me as much
could have been
at
Wanda
home on
Sykes
VHS.
for all I care.
Yeah.
Like it would have looked more like Carrie. than it did.
But I was just saying, because
So bad.
I don't know how well Solo's going to go, but a part of me thinks just put all the dots on Harrison Ford's face and
You could
just
give me
shoot
2
it.
hours of Donald Glover in that outfit, just running around going, "I'm Lando," and I'd be like, "This is the greatest movie I've ever seen." Donald
Man.
Glover being cast as Lando Calrissian is the most inspired casting of
It's
all time.
so
in any
cool.
movie, fight me, change my mind.
And if you ever watch the TV show Community,
oh, dude,
his
he's the
character,
best.
his
Yeah.
character on the
Best.
show would have loved
Oh, I know.
that he's playing Lando Calrissian. We would have loved that.
I just because all I think of is like he's younger than me. I think.
Yeah.
So
Everybody's younger than us.
That's true, right?
Look.
but he's getting like action figures. And
Yeah,
he's getting
action
like
figures.
he's Lando
He gets
now,
the-
which
he-
is so cool to me.
I just don't understand why we have this fascination and this nostalgia need
Careful.
to have our old actors continue to make the same movies in this.
Because the people who run the movie studios and control all the money now
Yeah.
are our age and slightly older, and they want to reflect back to that time now. I
Sure.
think.
I get it, but I mean, is
I'll be honest. I didn't want another Indiana Jones movie. I didn't.
It's
I didn't.
coming.
You didn't want the fifth one, or you didn't want the fourth one?
I didn't want the fourth one either. But it's
It's coming.
weird because the trailer for that one, when I was still watching trailers,
Yeah.
the trailer for that was very effective.
I think
It's very
so.
good. Didn't give much away.
The
and it
trailer
was-
fooled us, though.
The
However,
trailer sure did fool us.
When it comes to Indiana Jones, he's an archaeologist, and they're supposed to be old.
Right, I guess.
So
He's-
maybe.
but,
Yeah,
he's-
but they're supposed to be
man, is he old
adventurers,
now?
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There's another Mission Impossible coming, right?
Yeah, I did see another trail of but those
Looks
have
okay.
always been good. Those
Looks
have
okay.
always been good quality movies.
But
He
there's
hangs
gonna
off
come a
the
day.
actual airplane.
There's
Yeah,
gonna
there
come
is
a
going to
day
come a day.
where he's not going to be able to do it, and they're going to keep churning them out.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say there's going to come a day where he's going to let go, and it's going to all be over.
No,
He's going to hang off the side of that plane and just go.
I have to assume they have some sort of a wire on it.
To
Well,
Xenu.
He did a great job of making his own James Bond franchise with those Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
He did a great. I've loved every one of those. I know people have their issues with Tom Cruise and Scientology and all that, but when I know he's in a movie and he's producing
a
it,
crazy, but he
makes good quality movies.
He's a very entertaining crazy.
Absolutely.
Doing his own stunts is like I'll forgive a lot of stuff if you're doing your own stunts and you're looking in the camera the whole time. Like that's the coolest.
that's
to me,
cool. I'm fine with that.
And he has everything to lose. Like he did. Like
I mean, yeah, the
it's
movies
like-
are fun, especially when Ving Rhames is in it. I actually thought Ving Rhames was dead. Which who died? Was it
The
Michael?
one
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark
Okay.
Duncan from Dead Man.
And
Mile.
Does that make me
Walking
racist that I knew
bring it
exactly
all- bring it
who you were
all
talking
back
about?
to the racism. Yep.
No,
Can't tell them apart.
Green Mile.
Yeah.
He's great in that movie.
The kind of kingpin.
And now
Kidding
we
me?
pause for a second to gather our thoughts and think about what the next topic is going to be. So we've talked about the story.
I'm
You
gonna
said
have to
you
let my son go. I'm here pretty soon.
You go down in the fifth.
Oh, you got it. Is it shift change?
Yeah.
What time? You know, we got to be careful of. Do we
10
want to?
I got 10 minutes.
Do
He's
we
giving
want
me
to
the 10-minute mark.
stop down and do another whole episode because they close at 9? Remember the last time we stayed here way past 9. We screwed him over that night.
We're at 36 minutes. So we could wrap up. We could say goodbye to Todd.
Do you want to? Is there anything you want to bring to the table, or anything you're talking about that you're selling here, or any products coming in, or
They got
anything?
comics.
Your ass.
Terrible businessman. Terrible businessman.
I'm
Doesn't
selling,
know what I'm
I'm
talking
selling your butt.
I've noticed the arcade games, outside there.
Yeah.
They have
doing
new
well.
new tables in the bar area.
Oh yeah, you got the tabletop games now. You've got
Yeah.
the Burger King or Burger Chef?
Time.
Burger Time. Damn it.
Tron.
And what was the third one?
I don't remember.
Well, there are two that are what they call multicades, which
Oh,
have
are they?
like
Okay.
100, which have like 100 different games.
Oh,
on.
that's cool.
And then Tron.
Okay, the Tron,
Tron-
one. Which
Tron,
you had
which
at
we
the
had
other
at the
place.
other one,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
yeah, Tron didn't really work.
I
don't
think Greg and I
There was
tried it
something
one
weird
time,
about it.
and one of the sides didn't work, but it's like it's
And
still cool.
The
that
other
you
one
got
was
it there.
backwards.
I tried, and it did not take me into the grid.
Oh no. like up didn't work or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. Like that's a challenge.
Great.
and we've played it before, and we talked about
You'll
it
never
before.
get
But
to the
the
MCP.
Star Wars pinball game here is so cool.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It gets
Yeah,
a
but
lot of
it's-
play
it's
too.
so advanced. I don't even know what to do though. Like I can't
It's
do it.
crazy because it'll jump from like it has video games built into it.
Oh, yeah.
Smaller screen, so
Right.
you gotta.
You hit the flippers to make choices on the screen, also, and there's a lot
Back in
going
my
on there.
day,
Yeah, I know.
pinball was about pins and balls.
2 flippers and a ball.
2 flippers.
So we briefly discussed Ready Player One in the last episode,
Sure.
and did you see it in the theater?
I did. I did myself a great disservice. I feel in that I read the book and was a big fan of the book, and
Expecting that.
I typically don't do that because but I had heard so much about. I started reading the book before it was announced that the movie was coming out.
Oh, okay.
So like at the halfway point, they said, "Oh, we're making a movie." I'm like, "Oh, that's cool," but they barely use any of the movie,
Yeah.
or any of the book. Rather.
Just the idea.
It's very, very.
Okay, they put goggles on and they do this. Okay, now let's make a movie.
There's enough of it to
Todd.
where it's like the framework of the movie.
How do they work the nostalgia of the 80s into a book?
It's if I had a criticism for the book, and I have a criticism for everything. If I had a criticism for the book, it is that while it is clearly a love letter to our generation and anybody who grew up just immersed in the 80s and 80s pop
Okay.
culture, the book, Ernest Cline, kind of goes out of his way to be kind of pedantic in his writing, where he'll say something about, say, Last Starfighter, but then he goes on for about another paragraph telling you why that's important.
In the book?
In the book. So and it's,
So,
and it's
okay.
good to read. It's fun to
So
see him
there was-
reference so many things.
There was
but-
one scene where they were talking about the Sherman Sherman High School or whatever it was.
Sure.
That sounds like something that was right from the book, where they
Correct.
talk about why things were good or why
Correct.
things were important.
Correct.
Not just, oh look, there's
Yes.
Serenity.
Exactly. Most of it, of the
which
movie.
I had a little nerdgasm when that happened.
I know. No, believe me. Even the stuff that was nowhere near the book, There's still some cool parts in that,
Oh,
like
yeah.
the Gundam jumping out of Serenity.
Oh, yeah.
It was so cool. That stuff was great.
I
It
imagine
just-
that the author of the book was pleased that Spielberg was attached to it.
I can't imagine he wouldn't be just
Yeah.
thrilled to pieces.
Like
about it.
he wasn't writing that
Because
book with
who-
Spielberg in mind.
Well, who was the most quintessential
Right.
80s director?
Right.
Outside of John Hughes. So yeah, I'm sure Ernest was thrilled to pieces.
Yeah.
Now that being said, I don't know. I wish it was closer to the book because the book was, I think, quite a bit darker, and there was a lot more to it.
Well, did you read The Shining?
I have read The Shining. Yes.
Did you see the movie The Shining?
I have said, yeah.
This is
but
the
but
opposite.
it's weird because I'm very forgiving of that one because I love Kubrick's Shining.
So does
I
Spielberg.
love it.
So does Spielberg.
But I love the book. The book is a fantastic book. It's one of my favorite books.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Kubrick. So
Yeah, Stephen King-
By the way,
50th anniversary of 2001 this
50
week.
years.
Stephen King wasn't such a fan of the
50
movie.
He hated it.
years.
He hated it.
Oh,
Yeah.
he hated it, absolutely. But yeah, I noticed it, and it's going to be re-released in some theaters. I hope it's here somewhere. I'd love
What,
to see it in
2001?
IMAX.
Love to see that again.
2001's 50th anniversary is this month. 50 years.
I saw it. God, I probably saw it 10 years ago in a theater, and
For
it was
40th
it
or
was
something.
it was great.
Yeah, I'd love to see it on I know it wasn't, of course, not shot in IMAX, but I want to see it on the biggest screen possible.
But it was.
Was
I
it
think,
shot in 70?
I believe it was shot in 70
And
millimeter.
then you do want to see it at the IMAX screen. Not
There's got to be somebody that's doing like some kind of.
Yeah, I think
A
I'm
restore
thinking
or-
because there were restores like last month. I went and saw Vertigo. It was re-released.
How
in
was that?
theaters.
Oh, I've never
it's
seen that
fantastic
movie.
to see it for its 60th. Well, I think it was its 60th, and it was great to see it in the theater again. And that was another example of I'm not going to sit way back. I'm going to sit in like the fourth row and just focus on it and just watch it. Hey, what's up?
I'm going to be irate.
Hey guys,
It's always good to see
Hey, everybody.
friends of the show here.
everybody, it's Nick from Coffee Shop of
Shop of
Horrors.
Horrors. He's been on our show before, and it's always good to see him.
Here, tell you what.
Come around on this
I'm
side of the
actually-
camera just to say a quick hello before we sign off.
Here, say hi. Say hi, Nick.
Just say hi.
Hello, internets.
Yes,
we had an
hello,
awesome
hello.
time at Spooky Empire this past weekend.
Oh,
Yeah.
Spooky
we
Empire.
didn't see Todd there.
How are-
He didn't join in on the toga
Well, he
party this
saved
weekend,
Spooky
and I
Empire
put the
last
party
year.
in toga, I'll tell you what.
He can't save Spooky Empire every
Every
year.
year.
He
Not
saved it
every
last year
He's
while on
Still
vacation.
basking in his glory from last year.
How are your you have one or two locations now?
We're opening the first full
first.
service.
Nice.
We have the current retail location,
Mm-hmm.
which will become distribution and logistics,
Aha.
considering we're ridiculously busy.
Well, sure.
I mean, it's insane, growing like leaps and bounds.
That's what you
and
do.
We have a 250,000 person show we're doing this weekend. or no,
Wait, what?
sorry, the 26th, 2 weekends from now.
250,000.
Yeah, it's
People?
Leesburg Bike Fest.
Yeah.
And there's about 100,000 bikes and about 250,000 people in 4 days.
You know what I think? Those people need coffee.
And
Stat.
we're going to be right next to the bar in front of the Harley Davidson dealership.
Oh, nice location.
Super
How'd you
cool.
get that?
Gator Harley loves us. They love our product. They invited us.
Hell yeah, man.
So we'll be delving out coffee all weekend.
I think that's important when you're slamming whiskey to have a little bit of coffee with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Keeps
Just for your safety.
That's right.
Keeps you level.
Level you out.
Oh, very good. Is this a good way to sign off, you think?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. It feels right. We'll sign off here. It feels right. Remind the folks at home how we can find you online. Silly
We're
softball question.
Well, obviously we're on Facebook.
Yes.
We're on Instagram, which is I think Gods and Monsters Orlando on Instagram. But Facebook is the best way to get in touch with us. Keep up with what we're doing. I put pictures up of everything that I get for the store. I bought a big collection today that I'll have pictures up probably
Good.
either tonight or
And
tomorrow.
you know what, Todd? I find
Yes,
it
sir.
actually kind of humorous. You
Uh-oh.
don't just take pictures of the new stuff you get in.
That's right.
You build pyramids.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
You set this stuff up like it's a display.
Oh yeah, man.
And it's not like that in here. I mean, you just put it back on the shelves where they belong. But I mean, when you get
It's
the
a
new
whole process,
when you
man.
get the new stuff in, it's like, how long did it take to set
Yeah.
all that stuff
Oh,
up?
and I've seen you do a couple of times. You should do it more. Is where you actually just, hey, here's what's new, and you talk to the camera.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You should do that. You know how to do that live. Have you done that live, or you just record it?
I think I did a live recording once.
See, because
and,
I like that because when you do that live, it pops up on our phone and says "Gods and Monsters" is now live.
Oh, that's
Oh,
true.
that's cool.
Yeah,
so
it does.
that's cool that you're like, oh, Todd's about to, do an unboxing live type
Todd's
thing.
getting naked.
Yes.
Todd's about to stumble all over his words.
All right. Todd
But
says
let it-
a lot.
It's just do that once in a while. It's cool just to keep it
Hey,
in people's
you're a
minds.
human being.
I would like to get back into it. I guess the only other thing to bring up before
Yes.
I get out of here is I guess I'm not sure exactly when it starts, but very shortly. I think the Orlando Weekly Best of Orlando.
Time to start voting again.
Voting starts.
Vote
yeah.
early, vote often.
Going,
it's time.
going for that
Best
year
comic
3.
book.
It's time.
I'm
Absolutely.
about to
Best
become.
comic book store.
I'm about to become the biggest thorn in everybody's side on social media
If
again.
you could pull that off for year 3 after being in 2 different
Suck it,
locations.
other
Well,
stores.
here's the thing. I have a theory. First year is like, holy shit, look at this place.
Right.
Second year, I got the vote because, too bad they got kicked out. Third year means something. Like
Yeah.
if we've been here a year
Yeah.
and we still get it.
If you still get it after moving, that's
Yeah.
like LeBron James leaving a team, winning the NBA trophy, and then moving to another team and winning the trophy again.
That's
That's
right.
what you guys would be
That's right.
doing.
I obviously I'm not expecting anything, but I would love to win that third year. That'd be
Absolutely.
super cool, right?
Absolutely.
But yeah, I think voting for that starts up in the next 2 months or so. So
Yeah.
we'll be talking a lot about
Keep an
that
eye on
too.
the
I'll
Orlando
do it.
Weekly for
Yeah.
that. Absolutely,
Dig it,
we'll do
baby.
that.
All right. Hey, it's great to have you guys
It's great
back.
it's great to be
Thanks for
back here
having us
again.
back.
Well, we'll sign off again. Once again, don't forget to look for us on YouTube. Look for us on the Gods and Monsters Facebook page.
Yes, sir.
And please comment, subscribe, like, share. Those are the 4 main things these days, right?
Yeah.
Like, share.
Yeah.
And look for us again soon, right here at Gods and Monsters. Thanks for watching. Bye.